Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, finishing up the Bayou Boss box set of Malifaux with the Bayou Gremlins, olive green 09035. So, the Bayou Gremlins represent the typical gremlin, being about half the size of a human, minimal intelligence, in other words, let's see how to describe, basically uneducated, and a almost borderline suicidal disposition. There are 4 different sculpts to represent the same model, so I'll just be doing one on camera and probably doing bits and pieces of each. So starting with the lowest area. And it says on the reference card that all these gremlins have firearms, but only 2 of the sculpts actually show it. But this particular gremlin looks like he's raring for a fight. And I'll get the rest off camera. But that's a start. Okay. Templar Blue 09056. I'm in a lot of trouble getting my camera to cooperate right this minute. So hopefully this isn't too bad, but okay. The joys of technical difficulty strike again. Okay, this is going on the overalls. Yeah, very tiny area across the chest and chin to hit there. But okay, it's a decent base coat. So I'll get the other 3 off camera and move on to the next color once this has dried, at least somewhat. Okay. Boiled leather 09110. Carefully putting this on hats, at least parts of hats. Trying to avoid the flesh. This one was particularly difficult to assemble, as this frog was a separate piece and the barrel was, for the rifle, was in 2 pieces by design. A little tricky to... Some of these are a little unusual in the way they assemble, not as intuitive as you would think or hope. Look at this big bag. Trying not to hit his feet, but I'm probably going to have to do touch-ups anyway, so... Alright. Get a nice solid coat, and then I'll just go ahead and apply that to the other ones. Alright, next, where is it? Tarnished Steel 09206. Picking out the rifle barrel. And I want to get this decor on his hat and the steel as well. And here, both of these rifles look like they've misfired at least twice before. Definitely something akin to Looney Tunes. So he's got a little buckle on his hat. A shiny fish hook here. Well, to make sure I'm on camera for this, oh boy, gotta watch that. And little metal cup. Pine Green 09010. Which is not thoroughly mixed. Try again. Better. Getting the bottle of liquor here. Leaf Green 09011. That is a frog at the end of his gun, hanging off his gun. Or something akin to it, anyway. Just making sure I don't leave paint between the gap there. And I'll get the cord on his hat the same color. Little Ashen Blue 0905, or yeah, 09057. Get his fish started with that. Deep Red 09002. Get his coat and the rest of his top hat. I'm fairly certain that this current generation of Malifaux models were made using a 3D printer software like CAD for development to make the screws, and then they have a lot of parts compared to other models in this hobby. They have a lot of detail, but there's also a ton of undercuts, and I've mentioned before some fragility when you look at especially those antennae from the Skeeters a couple videos ago. It's being the prime example. Again, hopefully future sculpts kind of work on the fragility problem, but an old adage with things is KIS, keep it simple, or as simple as you can get away with. Then we'll give this one a red hat band. And Shield Brown 09161. Take a little bit of that steel and touch up the mechanism here. And get the butt of the rifle. And his pipe. And the dirt. Again, I based this insert off of where they'd most likely be encountered. In this case, the bayou and the mud. I'm doing all four on camera right this minute because I'm down to just a few small areas, so it won't increase my time too terribly much. I'll be switching back to just one model at a time and I dropped him when I finish up with the shading, and maybe not the highlights, but definitely slow down for the shading. Also, what I'm looking for, minimize what I show, I suppose. All in all, this doesn't take too terribly long per model, but we're putting multiple models on camera. That's where it can make this seem incredibly long. I'm also dropping the drying times on all of this. So while your highlights will dry very quickly, almost but not quite instantly, your shades could take, an hour or more to dry. And again, substantially more time on your base coats. And on base coats and shading especially, you want to make sure that an area is completely dry before you do adjacent areas, unless you actually want that shading to blend in, which can give you different effects, but it can also make the final product look a little weird. Still something worth mentioning and something worth experimenting with from time to time. And useful if you want to transition from one color to another on a single area. Okay. One more bit, and that's leather white 09062. Let's just go on to things. That will be the wrapping around the rifle barrels, which would in a literal sense be a band-aid for a broken, damaged, well-used gun that probably isn't safe. I'd initially done his in the oiled leather, but changed my mind. That'll happen sometimes, don't worry about it. Okay. It's good. So, let it dry, and I can begin to shade. Alright, time to start shading with the 09010 pine green. Can use about half paint, half water to thin to a wash. Go over your base coats, just let it flow into the areas to be affected. It's got that little gap between the, there we go, little gap between the leg of the frog there. That had to be dealt with. So if you don't deal with gaps like that and flush the extra paint out, either blowing it out or absorbing it somehow, then you could end up with a sort of film in there. It's not really taken to the hat too well, but it's alright. Next, Linen White 09061. And this will go on the wrappings around the guns here. We'll start the highest area to the lowest with shading, because of how the paint will slow down into the recesses. Okay, and there, anything else? Yeah. We use the pine green on the fish here. Looks okay. Let's see, anything else? Not really at this point, so I'm going to have to let that dry before I move on. But it's a start. Alright, 09205 Blackened Steel. Just going along the barrels and this decor on his hat could be interpreted multiple ways. I'm interpreting it as metal, but that's me. Oh, buckle on the hat there. Yeah, this bit here is where the gun barrel and frog assembled, and it's really went together awkwardly. Woodstain Brown 09160 next. This will go in the wood as well as be the first layer of shading on the base. I'll be because I don't want these colors to run in and blend together, I have to wait for adjoining areas to be dry enough to work with before I can move on. This just gets tricky sometimes. Here, in this case, because I can't grip by the gun barrel, which would be the most convenient point. Alright, get the rest off camera, but you get the gist. Alright, next up, Deep Red 090, or no, Red Brick 09001. Not much of this, but I am at the point where I can only do a couple of colors at a time now. Or one in this case. Quick ring around his hatband, which bled a little much, so paper towel to blot out and absorb the excess. A regular towel doesn't work as well for this, that's why I have to use something disposable. Just going around the red here. That was me conking my camera with my brush somehow. And the coat. The undercuts here are a little tricky, but I've dealt with worse. Okay. That leaves the denim, the leather, and the skin tone. And another little bit here and there, but getting there. Alright, next up, 09109 right leather. Being careful to avoid the hatband. And the leftover stain is covered up nicely from where the red ran down. Being careful not to nick the green of the skin while I get the underside of the brim. And I just nicked the red. Boy. And this cord, oh boy, just caught my camera. This cord going over his shoulder to his bottle of alcohol. And that would be alcohol. Gremlins are big drinkers since they copied. No, I think reappropriate is the appropriate word for from the tech from the humans. So, okay, that's good. We'll apply this to the rest. I'll just leave the blue, the green, and a little bit of black. Next up, 09055 Breonne blue. Which is clogged, so I keep the paper clips on hand. There we go. Be a little trickier. Let's see. Overalls. Avoiding the fish. Looks like the brown isn't completely dry yet, but I think I can work with it. Okay, it's pretty good. A little bit more there. I'll apply to the right, and I'll just leave the skin tone and a bit of black for the base and a few other details. Okay. Muddy Olive 09034. This is a new pot, so it needs a little extra mixing. Using careful, controlled strokes. I'm just kind of going from the top to the bottom. And I just missed a bit on the forearm there. Now I just need to apply this to the rest. Alright, last layer of shading. Pure black 09037. And actually, I can go ahead and start on the eyes, so we'll do that first with pure white 09039. It's going to be tricky on this one. Dot those in. The spillover will be taken care of when I do the highlights a little bit. This brush may not be the best for this anymore. And a little bit of lighting here. Little white on his teeth. Little white on his teeth. Got his nose bit, but that'll come off. Then dot in some pupils. here are the gun barrels. What passes for them anyway. Just carefully dotting it in. And then take a little fire orange 09006. And do a lighting effect on the pipe. And then thin out the pure black into a wash. About 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint. Go over the bottle of liquor. And the mud again. So make it look even darker, more like mud. And other things you find in mud. Alright. Once that's dry, I can start highlighting. I'll just apply that to the rest. Okay, time to finish up. So, pale olive 09036. Now, I've not really shown off. This is going to be a little awkward, but for dry brushing, no water. Make sure I'm on camera here. Okay, take your brush and rub it off on a paper towel till it looks like there's nothing left. Just like that. Realize I've never really shown that before. And then lightly dust the area to be affected. This will catch on the highest portions of the model. And here I'm concerning myself mostly with just the readily visible areas. So keeping the paint refreshed as necessary. Just going to do them all the highlights here right now. Get them all done. It turned a bit lighter than I would have liked. It's okay though, it's fine. That lighting effect turned out a little more subtle than I would have liked as well, but it's okay too. That's fine. The best brushes for dry brushing are going to be ragged and feathered. And you'll eventually get a few just through wear and tear of pristine brushes, so rinse out thoroughly and dry thoroughly. I'll just be switching brushes freely since I have several. It might take you a bit to build up a collection suitable for this. Ashen blue, or is it 0905, or no, yeah, 09057. Maybe not that brush. How about this one? Light dusting on the denim, going from the lowest part of the model, which was the skin, to the highest, which, well, we'll see as we go along. Going against corners here and sharp edges. Those will catch the paint better. There's a good example. It's catching right on the wrinkles by going against them. Okay, next, let's see here. How about... let's do pale green 09012. This ought to give an interesting effect. Not too much of this. I want to make certain I'm on camera though. Okay, I gotta stop this. Okay, trying again with pale green 09012. I hit a weird glitch that was... This isn't the right brush. Where's the brush I had? There it is. Hitting a weird glitch where my camera started dropping hundreds of frames over the course of a few seconds. I'm not sure what caused that, but I think I might be I think that upgrading my program to the new version might be a really good idea at this point. I might have the money soon, so that gets a nice shot on the whiskey bottle. I'll do the same thing for the fish. Okay. Next. Oh, you know what? I forgot. There's a frog involved. Hatband here. Okay, now I've got that color. Okay, next, blood red 09003. And let's go on his hatband. This brush may not be as dry as I would like. Just roll it in his jacket and clothing. Well, jacket and hat. I think I just butchered the English language there. This combination of reds here is pretty subtle, but it's nice. I find it. Do a bit of the other side up there. Now, True Silver 09207. Got fish hook here. And that jiggling makes me nervous, but not as bad as the antenna on summer teeth, on the mosquitoes, or skeeters, but still a bit nerve-wracking. Gun barrels, and then the crim on his hat. Buckler, shine that up. Trigger and the barrel that's exposed. Ghost white 09063. Get the wrappings there. Oh. And here. And I'm going to put a little bit on the fish too. Yeah, it looks nice. Right. Let's see, next burnt orange is 09111. Which is plugged up, so paper clip. And this is really jammed up badly. Oh boy, there we go. That went out very wildly. So unfortunately it means I've just wasted some paint because I can't exactly put it back in the bottle like this. Not very well. It sucks, but it is what it is. Okay. Concerning myself again with just the readily visible areas. Trying to be delicate with the rod just because that flux there, which isn't good, is one shoe here, the rope around the whiskey bottle. He's just got his bandolier for his. It's not technically a bandolier, but that rope that's securing his rifle to him. Here. Top of the hat. Get back there to get the straps. The bag, it's working very nicely on the bag because of all the raised edges that are catching it nicely. Okay. And that just leaves Driftwood Brown 09162. Unfortunately, this one's almost empty, but I can't get a replacement because the company's kind of swapping out its paint formulas again, so it's more or less unavailable. Alright. Bit on the pipe. The stock of the gun. And on the mud. Okay, this brush isn't working out very well. Let's try a different one. I might have to retire that one. Alright, this is working a little better. Same thing here. Stock of the gun that had too much paint in it. It's alright though. Dusting along the base. The pugilist here just needs the dusting on the base. Our fisherman. So I'm not dropping. Okay, I think it's working. Testing on the rod and the base. Yeah, you gotta love technical difficulties, right? Alright, that's highlights. There's one step left. Pure black, 09037. I'm gonna line the base with it. Again, I used to do a faction-specific color, but with all the changes coming up and models changing factions, I've just said at this point, forget it. Let's do it basic. Call it good. So, where's my brush I need? There we go, flathead. I use round brushes for most of my work, but a flat one's better for this and other large areas. So I'm just going to carefully go around the edge, trying not to hit the basing I just did. Just patience and control. It takes practice to do both. Okay. That's got that. I'll get the rest off camera, and there's one last step. Alright, last step. 09039, pure white. Well, that last couple of clips were absolutely disastrous, so maybe doing the upgrade to my program will help. We'll see. We'll see if I end up with the money I would need to do that this month. Where's the brush I need? Oh, this one will work. So taking the pure white, I'm just doing a Roman numeral on the back of each one. So 1, and 2. Doesn't have to be. This is mostly for my own convenience, so I can easily tell which model is which and just put a mark on each card. And 3, so that I can quickly tell them apart. Well, they are all different sculpts, and then 4. But it makes it easier to keep track when they're numbered as opposed to going off of a picture. So there we go. A cantankerous quartet of Bayou Gremlins. Going to be hitting up my Monster Apocalypse model next. And then it's going to be a set of 7 Malifaux models based on something biblical. So, until next time, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.